Hello and welcome. My name is Joe Valenti. I'm the founder of BrokerMinder. This particular deal that you're looking at here for Louise Penny is moving along very nicely. It's been conditionally approved. That's great. But how do we go about creating a brand new application for a new applicant that's coming in? Well, it turns out there are no fewer than three different ways to do it. And you begin the process by clicking on this new applications area here on the left. By the way, if you don't see exactly this menu on the left-hand side, it could be that it's just been minimized. It's actually quite convenient. I usually keep mine minimized just this way. And when I want to start a new application, I have the same three options that are available here. But for the purpose of the video, I'm going to expand this menu just so you can see it more comfortably. And as I say, there are three different ways to do it. We're going to talk about this first option in this video. The second option that we'll talk about in another video has to do with simply importing from Filogix. If you've got a deal in Filogix, you can very easily go and pull it in, and all that data is reliably put in to create a new deal in BrokerMinder, which is cool. And sending an invitation is simply the process by which you send an email to a customer that for whom you obviously have at least a name and an email, maybe a phone number, maybe other information. But what they'll get is an email with a link that they can then use to go and begin their own application. Quite straightforward. In this video, we're going to talk about starting the application rather manually. Let's imagine that you're doing an interview over the phone or in person or any other circumstance in which you have enough information to get going with a new application. So really all you have to do is click that link. You can do that while you're here looking at Louise's deal, or if you prefer to go back to the dashboard first, it doesn't make any difference. Either way, you're going to then get this new dialog box. In a moment, we're going to talk about the four mechanisms, the four ways that exist to augment the newly created deal with automatically created condition documents. And I'll quickly mention that the four dimensions in question are the application type and purpose, the occupancy, and the employment down here. Those four variables, depending on how you specify your employment, whether it's employed or self-employed, whether your occupancy is owner-occupied or rental, and so on, depending on how you answer those questions, it's possible in BrokerMinder to have those answers trigger the automatic addition of documents in your list of conditions. Clearly, if this property is, let's speculate here, say it's an approval for a purchase on a property that's going to be strictly for a rental, clearly the list of condition documents you're going to ask for is a little bit different, and that's something you can program. We'll talk about how you do that in another video, but let's assume for the moment that's been done, and so starting an application that way will be just that simple. By the way, just to mention it, BrokerMinder does out of the box include a large number of condition documents, and some of them are specifically triggered in this way. So you might want to modify them. That's cool, but this is a demonstration of what you can do. So let's imagine that our new potential applicant has the name of Tom Hardy, and he has an email address that we use here for these kinds of purposes. And this phone number looks mysteriously like my personal cell. We'll say that he's employed, could say self-employed, doesn't matter. We're going to give Tom an income. So really just filling out this first little bit of information is all that you need to really get started. We could, by the way, click to add a second applicant if we want. Totally fine. For the video, we won't do that right now. We're just going to have Tom alone on the app. And by clicking OK, you'll see here in just a second that the next one that's going to pop up is going to be an opportunity to add still more documents to the deal. If, for example, you know that Tom's a pensioner or some other thing as well, or maybe he's a formerly employed, whatever the reason is, there are the condition sets that you can add. Maybe it's a condo, for example, this rental property you're talking about, and you want to add those documents that pertain to condos. You could go ahead and add those documents right now. This dialog box is there. For the purpose of the video, I'm just going to press cancel here and demonstrate that even before I generated anything, those documents that pertain to an approval for a purchase on a rental for an employee are here. So I've got an employment letter, I've got a down payment statement, T4s, NOAs, all the kinds of things you'd expect that kind of deal to have. And that's again because BrokerMinder is configured that way. And if you have any trouble getting your documents to populate automatically, by all means, reach out to us. We'll be happy to talk to you about it. But wow, look at that. Already, you created the deal. It's going to start off in the first of the stages that you define in your account. How do you define your stages, how many there are, what their names are? That too we'll cover in another video, but the hint is up in the settings and the stages area. And there you go. So, congratulations. In just a few clicks, you created a brand new deal ready to go. Now, is there more information you're going to collect? Sure, you do know the application type and purpose, but if you've got a closing date, by all means, go ahead and put that in there. If you've got a Filogix number, probably you don't at this stage, but go ahead. With respect to the subject property, you might have an address, you might not. You have a purchase price, you might not. Some other things about the property in question, the subject property, you don't. We do know that this particular deal was a rental, so the rental information is coming up here, and we're going to use one of the methods to allocate some percentage of that rental income to the deal, et cetera, et cetera. So now it's just a deal. You go through the various tabs to identify information about the application itself, about the property. You might end up here creating a mortgage with rates and everything else. We'll talk about that in another video. You can look at that little button there to see that. The list of conditions, as I mentioned, are already here, and information about the applicant himself is listed on that tab. So there you are. Congratulations, as I say, just a few moments, and you've created your first application of broker binder. Calls for a moment of champagne, no doubt. Have a great week. If there's anything we can do for you, let us know. Bye for now.